new to my channel, welcome. What I like to do is talk about anything and everything related to classic rock because I grew up with it, I love it, I am just all about classic rock. So you know what, let's go ahead and dive into some classic rock news. So today I have on my Eddie Money t-shirt. It's actually from his, I hope you can see it, it's 2014 tour. This is when I actually saw and met him for the very first time at Mohegan Sun right near us in Connecticut. You know, just getting to see Eddie Money sing and tell jokes on stage, it was so cool for me. I just fell in love with him and his music all over again. So where has the money man been? I mean, this is just a question that really I've been thinking about ever since he had his heart valve replacement surgery back in, well, it was like probably the beginning of June because Memorial Day weekend he did a bunch of shows. He was supposed to actually get that heart surgery before he did the shows. Doctors were telling him, listen, Eddie, you gotta get this surgery done. He did not want to disappoint fans because that is just how he is. So he went ahead, he did the shows, and then he had that heart surgery done that week. So maybe like the end of May, beginning of June, he developed pneumonia, so he had to cancel all of the rest of his summer shows. He was supposed to perform at CannaFest. That didn't happen. I think his next show is in the beginning of September, maybe on the 6th. No word if he's going to get back out there and do those September shows, but you know what? I've just been thinking about him and I really hope he's doing okay. And what I just ask you to do is reach out to him on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. And even if he sees it or not, just let him know you're thinking about him and that we all hope that the money man is back out again really, really soon. And again, even if he's not, just as long as he's doing well, really, at the end of the day, that's all we care about. So Eddie Money, hope everything is well and we all love you. The Led Zeppelin lawsuit with the band Spirit, the estate of the late Randy California, he was the lead singer of Spirit. So what they're saying is that their song Taurus was actually used to create Led Zeppelin's one of their most favorite song, Stairway To Heaven. They're saying that the guitar riff from Taurus was like the exact same thing in Stairway To Heaven. So what happened was a San Francisco court threw it out saying that, you know what, this is just nonsense. We're gonna throw this out. But come to find out, the jury, right, they had to compare the sheet music from the song Taurus with the sheet music from the song Stairway To Heaven. Now, I know I can't read sheet music. I can't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just cannot do it, and not many people I know can, okay? The jurors did not hear the two songs in comparison. They had to read sheet music and make a decision from there. That's kind of crazy. But now, the latest thing, so insane, the US Department of Justice, right? I'm scared right now. The US Department of Justice is on Led Zeppelin's side. So September 23rd is the date that they all go right back to court and they're going to be able to hear the two songs together and they'll be able to make their decision from there. What do you think? Have you heard the two songs? I've listened. It's just kind of crazy. Really, I don't hear it. Maybe like there might be like a tone or something, but I'm not hearing how the two songs are identical. I personally don't, but the jury will decide. Again, on September 23rd, we will follow and see what happens there. And this was just crazy. That's why, you know, this is why I love what I do. I love digging up stuff. I love finding out information that I never knew before. Again, I will never ever say that I know everything. I don't know deep details about music and backstage musicians. I just don't. I really don't. I loved finding out this piece of information. Sheryl Crow, right? The amazing Sheryl Crow was actually Michael Jackson's backup singer. Now, forgive me that I did not know that, but I didn't, and she was on his 1988 Bad tour. Now, her newest album features classic rock greats like Eric Clapton and Joe Walsh, so just to think about her singing with Michael Jackson is kind of crazy, but I will go ahead and link the video of the two of them singing together, I Just Can't Stop Loving You. Now, I must say, I loved Michael Jackson. I really still love his music. And before the light is even on Michael in this particular video, again, I'll link it in the description box, you just get an overwhelming feeling of, wow, this is incredible. He was just an incredible musician. There's no getting away from that. And Sheryl Crow actually said that she knew as she was watching him perform on that stage, probably during rehearsals, that this would just be a once-in-a-lifetime event for her. And of course, it was. Let's talk about Sheryl Crow's hair for a second. Her hair was just like Taylor Dayne's hair. And if you remember, Taylor Dayne's hair was long and curly and just big and amazing. Sheryl Crow's was the same way. I was just floored that that was Sheryl Crow. I just was. So again, take a watch if you can. Really, really interesting. And again, Sheryl Crow, Michael Jackson, she was his backup singer. Pretty incredible. This past weekend, let's face it, fans from across the world at least thought about Woodstock and how it took place 50 years ago, and a lot of people actually traveled to Bethel, New York. They saw Santana, Ringo Starr, John Fogerty, Arlo Guthrie. They saw them perform over the weekend, and actually a family from Belgium, husband and wife and 2 daughters, he took them to the Bethel site. I guess they went to the concerts as well. He just wanted to promote to his daughters that peace and love still do exist. So I thought that was very, very cool, traveling all the way from Belgium to go to the Woodstock site, right? That's what life should really be about right there, because it did promote peace and love. And as I was watching some of the old clips over the weekend, it was on C-SPAN, it was kind of funny. You just, you know, again, when you start watching these things, you forget that you've learned about them in the past, but a lot of the townspeople in Bethel made food for the hippies that were coming to town. How crazy is that? And the police officers and the people that lived in the town said that that was the best group of kids they had ever seen in their lives. They were well behaved, they were polite, but come on, did they see them at the concert? They were all stoned. I mean, they were all on drugs, and they were all having sex, and they were all sleeping on top of each other and doing other things, I'm sure, but at least they were polite to the townspeople. That's all we care about. Just like when you have kids and they're crazy in the house, but if they're good when they go to somebody else's house or in school, you're okay with it. So fine. But David Crosby, you know, I gotta love me some David Crosby. You never know what he's gonna say. He was actually a part of Michael Lang's Woodstock 50 that just fell apart. It just disintegrated. And David said that the whole Woodstock 50 thing was grubby. It was all about the money. And you know, you do take a look back at the lineup that was supposed to happen for Woodstock 50. I just, you know, I love Miley Cyrus, I love Jay-Z, but I just didn't think they should have been a part of that particular event. It just doesn't fit with the whole Woodstock vibe. Yes, they could have sung covers of Janis Joplin and the Doors, but I don't know. I didn't get that pick, I guess, right? So David Crosby, again, he was supposed to be a part of it, and he didn't announce that he had backed out, because a lot of artists had the opportunity to not do the show because the contract was so ridiculous, I guess, and nothing was taking place as it should have. The financial backers backed out. The place, they couldn't have it at the place they originally wanted it to, and they had 2 other places. So again, people were just dropping out left and right, and David never came out and said, I'm not doing it. But he did recently come out and say, Woodstock 50, it was just grubby. Grubby. Who hears the word grubby anymore? So thank you, David, for giving me back the word grubby, because I'm gonna use that now. I like that word. I used to use that word when I was a kid. I did, grubby. Oh, that's grubby. Oh, my brother. Oh, you're grubby. I just liked that word, so I'm glad I have it back in my vocabulary again. So thank you, David Crosby, for giving me grubby. Steve Perry news? There's none. There's nothing. I really thought last week, oh, after I published my video, there's going to be like a ginormous announcement from Steve Perry, but nothing. Nothing on social media. Nothing. There's no Steve Perry news at all. I do have Lou Gramm news, which is really exciting. He's going to be on Eddie Trunk's show on AXS TV, but let's talk about AXS TV for a second. Why does like half the country not get AXS TV? Can you just explain that to me? Because I personally would like to see Sammy's Rock and Roll Road Trip, and a lot of the other programming that they have on there is like all classic rock related, but we don't get it here. We don't, you can't even stream it. You can't see anything that they air online or on demand. It's so annoying. I just have to say that. So AXS TV, really? Can you just expand your horizons and your footprint and give us all AXS TV? People want it. So Lou Gramm is actually going to be, and I started to say this, but I'm going back and I'm going to say it right now. He's going to be with Eddie Trunk on AXS TV that half of us don't even get on Sunday, August 25th, starting at 9:30 p.m. I think he's also interviewing Joe Perry and Vince Neil during that interview, so it would be pretty cool, but again, we can't see it because we don't get it. Hello, AXS TV, so just give me a call so I can help you get the cable from your station to my house. Now listen, I just want AXS TV. That's all. AXS TV, I just, please and thank you. So, I am all about positivity. I am all about, just bringing good vibes to everything and everyone I talk about. Some things, it is what it is. Again, I have loved classic rock literally since I can remember. I have loved the band Aerosmith since I can remember. And I never have gotten to see Aerosmith in concert because I just couldn't. I couldn't afford it. I'm not, it is what it is. I just couldn't afford to go to many concerts when I was growing up. Every time I've tried to go in my adult life, things come up. I can't take the trip. I've got this going on. Well, I was actually in the process. I had been working on it for months to go and see the Aerosmith show at MGM in Springfield. And I'd been in communication with a few people from the venue for the past several months. And, it was great. I was going to go. I had 2 tickets. And my husband, he produces my radio show. He supports every crazy thing I do, especially with these videos. And I really do everything with him. A couple of nights ago, I get an email that I can only have 1 ticket to go to the Aerosmith show. And I know some of you are probably like, you know what, girl, like, dude, you're getting given a ticket. You getting a ticket, but I'm working for that ticket too. Just so you know, because I do play Aerosmith music during my show. I do talk about Aerosmith all the time. And I've been talking about the show for a very, very long time. But anyway, that's fine. It's cool. Needless to say, I'm not going to see Aerosmith. So this will probably be the last time I ever get to see them, and that opportunity is passing me by. But again, I am just a little crumb in this big world of reporters and journalists and radio people and interviewers. So you know what? I just personally don't matter, but I do, because as sad as I was about, really being given something and then it being taken away, as sad as I was about that, I will read you something that was posted on Susan Ballen's Facebook page. Now, Susan Ballen, who is that? She is the widow of Marty Ballen. He was one of the founders of Jefferson Airplane. And I was honored and fortunate enough to interview him. Probably, I'm thinking it was the last interview he had done before he passed away. So I was very lucky to be able to speak with him. It was a great conversation. I knew he wasn't well, and after I did get off the phone with him, I was sad. I was really sad for Marty. Remembering what all of these artists have given to all of us, Elvis, the Beatles, the Doors, Janis Joplin, Jefferson Airplane, Jimi Hendrix, they have given us so, so much, and they're part of who we all are today. Because again, if you like classic rock, you're watching me talk about it, you're watching me talk about classic rock news. But let me go ahead and read something to you. Again, after I interviewed Marty, I reached out to Susan. She said, thank you so much for keeping the music alive. And I feel that's what I try to do, and I feel that's what my husband and I try to do with our radio show and with this classic rock news. So Marty has a daughter named Jen, and she had posted on his Facebook page that she couldn't listen to the interview I had done with Marty. It was too painful for her, understandably so. So Susan Ballin said, "I know, Jen, it was hard for me too, but if it makes you feel better, he knew how he sounded, and yet he was actually looking forward to do the interview. He did not care what people would think or guess at. He simply wanted to live life as best he knew. He still had a lot to share and was not done living to the fullest. He was proud to be able to do this interview." Oh, sorry. This is real stuff. Again, my husband did not want me to talk about this, but I am, because it's important. He was proud to be able to do this interview, and for that alone, I embrace it as part of his life. In many ways, a beautiful and powerful message to all of us. I love you, Jen. So, with that being said, no, I'm not going to see Aerosmith. Wah, wah, wah. I'm not stomping my feet. Again, as sad as and as disappointed as I was about not seeing one of the bands that I've idolized really since I've been alive, let's face facts here, it's funny how I saw that this morning. And I said, you know what? This is what means something. This is what means something, especially to me. Because I interviewed him, I got to talk to him. He was at Woodstock. He performed at Woodstock with Grace Slick. He was friends with Jim Morrison. He knew Jimi Hendrix. They all hung out together. That's history. That is part of classic rock history. And I am proud. And you know what? Again, not going to see Aerosmith. It's okay, because this is what means something to me. And Susan Ballin, thank you so much for allowing me to have the interview with Marty. And you know what, to all of you who appreciate classic rock, who love music as much as I do, and hopefully that comes across to you, as goofy as I get sometimes, I just love the music. And it's gotten me through some crappy times, as I'm sure it has for some or most of you. So again, you know what? Keep classic rock alive, keep music alive, whatever type of music you listen to. And you know what? Peace and love. Just like Yoko Ono says, peace and love. And Ringo Starr too, because you know what, again, there's not enough of it in this world. Let's just spread it, and let's just be happy with what we have and who we have beside us in this life, and move on. And you know what, guys? Let's just keep rocking.